fake meat is turning into real profit.
Grocery sales of alt protein products have just skyrocketed.
Artificial meat. We're keeping all the good stuff and trying to leave out the bad stuff.
It will be the meat industry in 20 years.
It got really popular really quickly and then just as quickly lost all that popularity.
Beyond Meat getting a downgrade today.
It's down about 70% over the last 6 months.
It feels like Beyond Meat, for example, didn't grow in the right way.
It's an industry that promised to essentially save the world and is coming up short on that promise. My name is Deena Shanker, and I'm a food reporter on the consumer team for Bloomberg. I wrote about the plant-based meat industry and its rise and subsequent fall. Our story focused on the two big companies that really created the category and the demand for the products. Beyond Meat was founded in 2009, and Impossible Foods, which was founded in 2011. Both of these companies were led by founders that spent a lot of time talking about the potential for their products to do a lot of good in the world.
The idea behind the company is to provide a better form of meat. Right, to provide meat that provides all of the delicious, satiating experience that we've come to love, but does so in a way that's healthy for your bodies and healthier for the earth.
Our mission is to completely replace animals as a food technology in the global food system by developing better technology that not only is vastly more sustainable and healthier for the consumer, but actually more delicious.
For both of these companies, raising money was really important, and they raised a ton of it. Impossible raised more than $180 million before they even sold a single burger. Now, in 2019, Beyond Meat went public, and it was a massive IPO.
Beyond Meat, maker of the plant-based meat-free meat, soaring more than 160% to become the best IPO debut since the financial crisis.
It was a big moment for the entire industry, not just for Beyond. It was starting to look more and more like there could be this real audience, even from meat eaters. Our story makes the case that fake meat is a fad, and the reason we think that is because it got really popular really quickly and then just as quickly lost all that popularity. It has found its most reliable consumer base are people that don't eat meat, which is a very small portion of the population and certainly not enough to sustain a growth model. What they really needed was that flexitarian, the people that eat meat but are looking to cut back. And what we found is that meat eaters do eat these products sometimes, but not with the kind of reliability and regularity that would be required for this category to really take off. Impossible Foods took out an ad after the story ran, quoting some people from Reddit that disagreed with the story. We're here at Michelle Darby's house in Marlton, New Jersey, to talk about her family's experience with plant-based meats.
We started seeing like all of these alternative products, plant-based products, so I figured, well, why not try it and see if it's healthier, because that's what we thought. Aiden, what was your favorite plant-based thing that we have?
The Impossible Burgers probably were my favorite.
Since 2019 and 2020, sales have fallen at supermarkets and at restaurants. The companies have seen their valuations or their share prices just fall dramatically, and both Beyond and Impossible have had to do layoffs. A few factors have led to the decline of the category. The first is taste. For meat eaters, the products just don't taste good enough for them to be willing to give up something they love, like a burger, for a substitute that is also more expensive, which is another big reason that the category is declining. The products just cost too much. Another big reason is the health question. The first thing to keep in mind is that they are ultra-processed foods.
I would say across all disciplines and diet pattern opinions, ultra-processed foods are considered a food we don't want to eat that often. Everyone mostly believes that we should be eating real foods that have real ingredients. And then there's been a few kind of really productive studies that have shown the difference between people who eat ultra-processed foods versus those who don't, and the effects on both weight and health outcomes. So I think the science is supporting it, and there's kind of generalized consensus.
A big part of why so many consumers moved away from these products is a lot of people want to be healthier. A lot of people tried these products for that reason, and for many of them, they discovered, or their doctors told them, or they came to the conclusion themselves that these were not healthier products, and that if they wanted to make healthier changes in their life, they would have to look somewhere else.
I went to a follow-up appointment at my doctor's, and I said, you know, my weight isn't changing at all. I'm doing all these healthy things with healthy foods, and they said, well, it's still processed foods. I guess it was like an aha moment for me, like, why didn't I even think of that? I try not to buy as much of it. If it ends up being like, I don't know what these things are, I can't even pronounce them, I tend to not buy it.
The really big claim that really does stand up for these companies is that their products are substantially better for the environment than meat is. And that is absolutely true. But that is not a driving force in consumer behavior at this point, at least when it comes to food. Animal welfare is another place that these companies are quite obviously better than the meat companies. But again, for a lot of people, animal welfare just is not a reason to change their food behaviors.
The idea that I'm eating plants and it's better for the environment, or, you know, there are no animals involved, like, it would have been more appealing. So I missed the fact that it wasn't what I thought.
I do think food innovation is incredible, and so it wouldn't surprise me that there is a product out there that was able to use, I don't know, some plant product and just kind of pulverize it in a way that's made a nice burger, but the ones that have invented an ingredient typically just fall under that ultra-processed food category. So if an ingredient was created in a lab or not created by nature, it is an ultra-processed food.
After the story ran, the reaction came quickly and loudly.
To say it's a fad is frankly ridiculous. I mean, you know, an $8 billion global fad, I don't think so. And when we look at our repeats and our growth rates, we certainly don't think it's a fad. That said, there are challenges that we have to overcome.
I heard from a lot of people in the food industry who told me that it was right on and really encapsulated what happened with fake meat. I also heard from a lot of very vocal vegans and vegetarians who told me I was wrong, that this was just a nascent industry at the beginning of the technology, and I would be on the wrong side of history. Jennifer Bartashis at Bloomberg Intelligence predicts that there could be 1% to 2% growth in plant-based meats in the second half of 2023. I think what we've learned is that meat isn't going anywhere. I also think there's going to be a migration of these products out of the fresh department where they first launched, where they were going head-to-head with meat, and more into the frozen department where products like veggie burgers have been for years and years. Time will tell whether this industry can make a comeback and really live up to the expectations that it set for itself.